be faithful to thee, even when you're faithless.
Okay, well, good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the first installation of the Technology Zone. The Technology Zone is a technology presentation. It's going to be a live web presentation once a week on Saturday. We're going to do this every Saturday. Actually, I'd like to thank Mr. Kevin Lewis for helping sponsor this program. We got a lot of exciting things going on in the Technology Zone. Got a lot of talented folks that help put this together. Before we get started, just want to let you know we will be accepting phone calls. I'll give you that number, 248-996-8954. Again, that number is 248-996-8954. I want to talk a little bit about the Technology Zone. Before we get started, we have a guest that's going to be joining us in about 15 minutes, a really talented entrepreneur in the city of Detroit. So first of all, again, we'll talk about the Technology Zone, how it got started, and why we're doing this. Pretty much this is an opportunity for folks out there to become more acclimated with technology. We want to expose people in the community to technology and how it affects their lives, how it can help improve what they do, and also business professionals. We want to have a forum so people can call if they have questions. Again, we have a lot of talented individuals out there who might want to dedicate some time to the program, share their expertise. And pretty much, again, just be a portal for folks to learn information about technology. A lot of new and exciting things are coming down the pipeline, and we just want to make sure that people are up to date. It can also be a place to learn about future employment. There's a lot of employment opportunities in Michigan, but folks are going to need those skills. So we've been thinking about a way to share that with the public, and to me, this is the best forum to do that, the best format. To get people to tune in, phone calls, check out our website to find out where the jobs are. If you haven't been to our website yet, go ahead and grab a pen and some paper, and I'll give you that web address. It's www.impactstrategies.biz. I know it's kind of long, but it's IMPACTGIES.biz, B-I-Z. Okay, again, it's www.impactstrategies.biz. So what I'd like to do is just talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing in this program. It is in its inception stage. I'm looking forward to it evolving. There's a lot of things that I want to do with the Technology Zone. Next Saturday, I know we're going to have some more treats for you. But we are going to have an opportunity for you to blog. You guys can talk amongst each other about technology, answer some of the questions that I know a lot of people are going to be calling in and asking. And again, if you didn't get that number, it is 248-996-8954. Okay, if you haven't been to the website yet, go ahead and go there, and there's a tab at the end of the website, and you'll see that it says Technology Zone. So you can blog there if you like. That is open for blogging at this time. And again, that website is www.impactstrategies.biz. So a couple things we're going to do today before we get started. Again, I will have a guest speaker come in about 10 more minutes. We're going to be talking about some interesting products. I don't know if most of you have heard or should have heard by now about cloud-based technology. What is cloud-based technology? How does it impact you? Are you using it now and don't even know it? I'll talk a little bit about that right now. And before I do that, I want to get you an idea of what cloud-based technology is and how it works, how it impacts your lives right now if you're a computer user, if you're an IT professional. I know some of you remember when you first purchased a computer, one of the things that we looked at is how fast the RAM is. How fast can the computer process information? And another factor was how big is the hard drive? How much stuff can we store in it? Can we store, some people want to store video on it. Some people want to store audio and other types of files. And that was a determining factor on how we made our computer purchases. And then some of us, we spend X amount of dollars on a computer just based on the hard drive, how big it is. And then if you could remember, some of us said, well, I've got this computer here, my information is stored on it, but how can I have something else that's more portable, and then, they had external hard drives, and, people purchased those, and they, bought them depending on the size of it and spent X amount of dollars. Then they had the thumb drives, the thumb drives went right in the side of the computer, and that became even more portable. But here's the deal, now that technology is evolving, it's making it easier to, store information with less of the cost. It makes it easier for you. So now we have cloud-based technology where you can store your information on the cloud. So what is the cloud? Some people say, I've never heard of this technology. What is it? Is it some kind of invisible thing that I can store my information? It's not quite invisible. However, it takes away the burden from having a physical device where you're storing your information. So the cloud-based technology pretty much is storing information on the internet. Okay, you don't have to worry about carrying a thumb drive or carrying an external hard drive, or even making a computer purchase based on the size of your hard drive, because you can store your information on the internet. Okay, so that's pretty much what cloud-based technology allows you to do, to take your files, and if you're in a professional environment where you're, again, you had servers and whatnot, you can do the same thing on the cloud. You don't have to have physical devices. And when you think about that kind of technology and the way it's evolving now, that's going to save a lot of consumers' costs. That's going to save companies costs. You don't have to invest in thousands and thousands of dollars on devices that are pretty much going to be extinct, the way that, technology is evolving. So that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about here in just a few more moments, cloud-based technology. Who are the players in cloud-based technology? Well, you have Google, you have Amazon, you have Microsoft, Hewlett-Packard. It's a plethora of different organizations out there that are taking advantage of this technology, and even small business owners now are starting to inquire about how they can save costs and how they can implement this in their protocols from day to day. So that's what we're going to be doing today, talking about cloud-based technology. Again, I'm going to go back a little bit and talk a little bit about impact strategies. Impact Strategies, for those of you who don't know, is my company. I'm the CEO of Impact Strategies. I started it about 3 years ago. And the premise of Impact Strategies is to have a grassroots training program for IT. That's what we specialize in, IT training and certification. And the reason that I started this, because I myself started out maybe 10 years ago as an IT professional. And pretty much I just wanted to know, how I can enhance my skills. I always loved computers. I didn't know what to do with my skill. And just being in that environment, I eventually ran into some folks who, kind of, how can I say it, encouraged me to look further at honing in my skills. And so I did. I looked at the different opportunities that were out there, some of the certifications that were available. And as I became more acclimated in that environment, I learned that, hey, there's a lot of jobs out here in IT, especially in Michigan, which was shocking for me because at that time, folks were saying, well, not a lot of jobs in Michigan, not a lot of opportunities. But I found otherwise after I got certified. And then I found out, there's a demographic in the Detroit community who wasn't exposed to this type of technology and training. So, as I furthered my skills and as I, got a job as a Microsoft certified trainer, I came to the conclusion that I can do this myself. And I think like some things are gifts in disguise, or blessing is in disguise. You don't know, how they're going to come to you, but eventually they do come. And I remember getting laid off when I was working for this one computer training company, and it didn't take me long to realize that, I could do this on my own. And I had trained for various organizations, out there, DTE, Blue Cross, Wayne County government, Washtenaw County government, just a lot of different organizations doing computer training. And I said, you know what, I can do this on my own. And I remember right before I got laid off, actually, I was talking to an individual who was a director. I think he was a human resources director or something like that. And I had these ideas. I said, why don't we do a grassroots initiative and offer this training to people in the community with some kind of discounted price or something that would make it more affordable and more attractive for them to take classes. And I remember, he had the smirk on his face, and he said, "Robert, make no mistake, we are a for-profit organization," and walked off. And I said, wow. So, and that resonated with me, not in a positive way, but just in the fact that I said, they really didn't have that grassroots desire to help educate, folks in our community. So that was pretty much the premise behind Impact Strategies Computer Knowledge Centers. I said I really want to expose, our community, and of course the business sector, but primarily our community members. There's a lot of folks who just aren't savvy and who need to be. I mean, if you want a job today, you have to upload your resume on the internet. You have to learn how to create a resume. A lot of folks are getting laid off in different type of industries, and either those jobs have gone overseas or that technology is just not what's prevalent at the time, and you need to retool. So taking classes and getting certified in these various technologies is our premise. So that's pretty much why I started Impact Strategies Computer Knowledge Centers, so that we can, again, get folks more acclimated in technology, get them trained, get them certified, and get them out there and get the jobs of the future. Okay. So kind of gave you a synopsis of Impact Strategies, the direction of, I want to talk a little bit about the technology zone in our direction. What we're going to be doing very soon, and again, it's in its inception stage, but I do have ideas of what I want to do with it. Next week, you'll be able to blog and tweet. We're going to have that set out so you guys can be tweeting about the conversations that we're having. Again, you should be able to blog right now at the website at www.impactstrategies.biz. If you click the Technology Zone tab, you should be able to blog there. And again, if you have any questions pertaining to computer technology, something that's been racking your brain, call in that number, 248-996-8954. So we're looking forward to your call. One more thing I want to talk about before I bring my guest on is what we're planning on doing at the end of the month. Every week we're going to be having the Technology Zone at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And another thing we're doing at the end of the month, the last Saturday of each month, is that we're planning on having a gaming piece. Okay, and what do I mean by that? I know a lot of gamers out there, a lot of folks who play these video games, whether they're on the Xbox, whether they're on the PlayStation, whether they're on the computer. Some of you, of course, have the Wii. We're going to have a gaming piece so folks can come here, talk about the latest games, and hopefully if things turn out the way that we want, we'll have some sponsors so we can get some tournaments going on right here at ItsWebTV.com. Okay. So I've kind of given you a breakdown of what we're going to be doing here every week, the last Saturday of the month. It's going to be pretty exciting. We're looking forward to it. Got a lot of talented folks backing us up and supporting this initiative. So again, we're looking forward to those calls, 248-996-8954. So we're going to take a brief pause, okay? And then once we come back, we're going to bring in our guest, Mr. Terrence Willis, co-founder of ItsWebTV.Com. Okay, so we'll be back in just a few moments. You know what? I tell you what, before we introduce him, we're going to wait for a minute. He's getting ready in there. So we're just going to give him a couple more minutes before we bring him in. So again, if you haven't already, go ahead and go to www.impactstrategies.biz. Click on the Technology Zone tab and blog, and I want to hear what you guys are talking about out there. So please let us know. Give us a call, 248-996-8954. One of the things, too, that you'll be able to do if you take a look at the website, there's also an example of some of the video training that you can take. A lot of folks may not be able to come in to the facility down at Techtown in Detroit and take instructor-led classes. So we also have video classes. Some people's schedules are so hectic that they aren't able to make an instructor-led training. So if you click on the video learning link, and this is at impactstrategies.biz, you'll see a format of how the video learning. So we're trying to make it very convenient for folks who are looking to, again, retool, take classes, and get certified in these technologies, and also get partnered with some of the placement agencies that we're working with. You'll see the video format there. We've got about 6 or so demos of what the video training looks like. So you can click any of those, and some of these videos are end user, where you're learning like Microsoft Office. Some of them are more advanced, like Project Management Professional, Certified Ethical Hacker. That's actually a skill and a certification. If you guys remember Enron years ago, they had this big problem that was going on, and the feds had to come in and get on their computers and crack all this information. You can learn how to do that by becoming a certified ethical hacker, and that is a class. And understand, it's certified ethical, not unethical. It's a certified ethical hackers program. So again, take a look at the website. You'll see a lot of different training videos, and it's going to give you an example of those certifications. And again, there are jobs here in Michigan. I know our economy has taken a hit lately, but in the IT world, there's a lot of jobs. One of the issues, though, is that you need the skills and you need the application. A lot of employers are looking for people with certifications, but you also have to have some real-world skills. So we're really working on that to make sure that when folks come and take classes from us, that they're not just taking a class and getting basic knowledge. They're getting real-world scenarios. Again, we got a lot of talented folks working with us to make sure that that happens. Impact Strategies is partnering with IT placement companies. We're working on those relationships. We have one right now. We're looking at 3 more. So hopefully in a couple of months we'll have those relationships fortified and establish those strategic alliances with them. What that means to you is that now if you come and take classes with us, more than likely you'll be able to go partner with another organization and get some experience. And that's been a problem with a lot of the training right now, especially with some of the IT groups. If they're not partnered with some type of agency that's going to assist them in getting a job, they're coming in, spending their time, their resources, their money and whatnot, and getting these certifications and getting the training, but then don't have a place to apply that. Can't get a job. So we're trying to make sure that we do everything we can do and not be just another training organization, but offer folks an opportunity to see what's actually out there and get some jobs. So again, if you haven't already, log on to our website, www.impactstrategies.biz. Check out the video learning link, and also make sure that you're on the Technology Zone tab. There should be some blogging going on there. If you haven't contributed, go ahead and see who's talking about what there. If you have any questions, I know somebody out there has to have a burning question. Even if it's your mom or dad or grandparents. I know a lot of folks now are taking advantage of the cell phone and being able to take these pictures and upload them and send them to their friends and family. If you have any questions about the ease of doing this, or how do you do these things and make it more convenient for you, please, any question about technology, give us a call. We'll be more than happy to answer your questions for us. And if we can't answer them right away, we'll make sure we'll get to that answer before the end of the show. So again, 248-996-8954 is the number. Please give us a call. We're waiting for you. Okay. And what we're going to do, folks, we're going to prep. I think my colleagues, Mr. Willis is here. He's ready. So we're going to take a short break. Okay. And in about 2 minutes or so, we're going to bring Mr. Willis in. We're going to talk more about cloud-based technology. Earlier, we talked about that. I kind of gave you the premise behind cloud-based technology. If you've ever gone on Amazon and you've ordered, some music, or you've ordered, some video or something like that, that is cloud-based technology. It's information that's stored on the internet. It's not taking up, your personal space. So again, we're going to get into that more in depth. Let you know how you can maybe take advantage of it A lot of interesting products out there now that are geared towards this technology. So again, folks, any questions, we'll love to hear from you. 248-996-8954. Give me a call. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Okay, so again, folks, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back in 2 minutes. Thanks for tuning in. Willis? Did I say Lewis? Oh, man. How can I do that?
As long as we've known each other.
As long as we've known each other. Yeah, man. It was good to have you.
Yeah,
good
well,
to have
thanks.
you
It's
on the
a pleasure
show,
to
man.
be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Before we went on break, I talked about, cloud technology, who some of the players were. This is a colleague of mine, and he's definitely a professional in this area, in this technology. He's very studious of it. He's going to talk a little bit about cloud-based technology, how his company, ItsWebTV.Com, uses it, and how it serves his clients and whatnot. So, Terrence, tell us a little bit about ItsWebTV.com and how you're using cloud-based technology.
Okay. Well, ItsWebTV.com, we're an information technology managed services provider. It's a lot of words just to basically describe that we're an outsourced IT department for organizations. Our primary focus is K through 12 education, and some higher education university level. We are located in Techtown, which is on Wayne State campus. It's Wayne State University's Research and Technology Park. We've been in business since September of 2004. I've been in IT for over 20 years, and we're having a good time providing services and being useful. I heard your description of cloud services earlier, and I think you were right on. Cloud services is really, or when you hear talk about cloud computing, it's really sort of a marketing term more so than anything else to talk about the data center.
Right.
All of us are familiar with the cloud. We use it on a daily basis, whether it's our cell phone or our website that we visit. All of these things are really just millions of computers around the world that are connected via this thing called the internet.
Right.
And it's somewhat abstract. We know when we go to our Facebook or our Twitter or some other website, we know we're sitting in front of a computer. We really don't know or care where things are happening. They're just happening. But in essence, we're connected to these computers around the world that are hosting applications and providing functions for us and storing data, and we're retrieving that data and doing what we need to do to serve our function. And it's all through one pane of glass on the device that we're using.
Right.
And more and more, those things are happening. Instead of happening on the actual device that you're using, they're happening in the internet. So because it's it could be somewhat technical and kind of geeky, the term cloud has been used to represent this complicated network of computers and applications, and it just happens. It's just things that are materializing somewhere. But because the internet has become so powerful, it has reduced the need for us to have all of this capability in our local devices.
Right.
And even that's nothing, not new. For those who are, probably been dealing with computers for 20 or more years, they remember the old mainframe days, back when you had a big computer that maybe took up a whole floor of a building, and companies would lease time on that computer, and on your desk you had a little terminal that was mostly text-based, and everything that you did was actually happening in the mainframe, and the terminal was just a window that allowed you to interface with that mainframe computer. Right, but then throughout the late 80s and 90s, the personal computer revolution kind of began to happen, and these other computers that were small enough for you to put on your desk arrived, and you had your own software and your own operating system on those things, and you had your own printer connected to them, and you used those things, but you couldn't really communicate very easily with other ones. And then the advent of the connectivity of local area networks and internet access for those computers began to happen, and we began sharing. And back then, if you remember, the internet was a bunch of text with some hyperlinks.
Right.
If you clicked on that hyperlink, it'll take you to another page with some more text and some more hyperlinks, and maybe they throw a picture or two in here and there. But the internet is completely different than that now, right? Yeah. Now it's full of multimedia, and that's due to just the advancement in technology, the prevalence of fast internet connections. Have allowed for more robust, rich content on the internet, and it has also created an opportunity to take some of those applications that were previously only on our local computer and put them back in the cloud, just like in the mainframe days. But now, instead of mainframe being this somewhat limited computer that sat on the floor of a building that everybody shared, now the mainframe is really the entire internet. The entire internet has become our computer. So when you're on Facebook or you're on some other application, you're interfacing with that application. It's really the processing is being done in Facebook's data center. Right. Even though you're using your computer, but you can pick up your cell phone and you can connect to Facebook. You can pick up your tablet, like this, right? You can pick up a tablet or your laptop, or whether it's Macintosh or Windows, because you're using this web browser, and everything is, when you're interfacing with those types of applications, it's all through your web browser. Right. And the days that you have to close your web browser and open up an application like Microsoft Word, for example, that resides on your own computer is going away. So if that's the case, then why be I guess, let me say it this way. I'm not going to bash Microsoft or anybody else, but really the cloud, the cloud represents because even Microsoft has embraced the cloud, and a number of other companies have embraced the cloud. We're a Microsoft partner. We're also a Google partner, and Google has done some big things in the area of cloud, and so it's, the ideal that the internet has become your computer, or this cloud is the computer, and you can do things on the internet, gives you a lot more flexibility to use different types of devices to get to what you need. So one thing that we're really excited about is another advent from Google that's based around the cloud itself. We're all familiar with Google Android and the Android phones and Android tablets, as well as Apple iPhones and iPads. But Google has decided to take it a step further and sort of get into the computer business. Right. So one of the things I brought here today, I want to share with you guys is something. I mean, it's pretty slick looking computer, but it's very familiar. I mean, you got your standard clamshell format. Right. But as you notice, this thing is booting up. I'm not sure how well that shows up on the camera, but this computer does not have Microsoft Windows on it.
Okay.
Google. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I was just noticing. I saw the Google.
It has
Chrome
this Google
there,
Chrome, and any of you who have been, if you're a computer user, quite a few people have begun using the Chrome browser, which is Google's version of Internet browser, and recently has surpassed Internet Explorer as being the most used browser. And it's primarily because it was a browser rethought. It's like, okay, if everything is in the web, and how do we make a browser that's going to be fast and secure, and let's just start from scratch and figure out how to do it and do it best. And Google's done a pretty good job with their browser called Chrome. Well, now they've created a whole computer operating system based around Chrome OS. They've taken those successes and said, okay, well, what if we make a whole computer? Because if 90% or 95% of what you do is on the internet anyway, and not on your local computer, then maybe we can strip some things out of the local computer operating system to make it perform a little better, and because you really just need to get to the web.
Absolutely.
So it
frees up resources.
Right, frees up tremendous resources. So they've created this new operating system, Chrome OS, and it's pretty slick. I mean, to be honest with you, one of the immediate benefits to it, you can realize the minute you push the button and cut it on.
I remember you showing me that when I came over to the office, and you were kind of really excited about it, and I was excited too. As soon as you turned it on, it was on, and I know there's people out there right now who are just like, every time you turn your computer on, you're waiting at least 2 to 3 minutes for everything to boot up, and I was impressed with that because it was on, and I know with my computer, I've cleaned it. I've done everything I needed to do to it to make sure that it, in any viruses, I do my virus checks. I do everything that I need to do to my computer to make sure it works fast. But it still takes about 3 minutes because I have a lot of information on it. So, and it takes about 3 minutes to boot up.
Right, yeah. I mean, and you're lucky. I mean, some people have enough time to, from
3 minutes is a long time, though, because people now, I mean, we're in this on-demand generation. We want our computers to turn on right away. We want our cell phones to boot up. I mean, we don't want to wait.
Right. Well, I've heard people, for years, tell me that when they cut their computer on, that's when they go to, make their coffee and use the bathroom and check their tie.
5 minutes later.
Right, and then 5 minutes later come back and they're crossing their fingers and hoping that the computer is ready for them. So that's one major benefit right there.
So what you're saying, Terrence, is with the Chrome, and this is called a Chrome box.
This is actually the Chrome book.
This is a Chrome book.
But they do make a Chrome box, which is a desktop replacement. So you don't have to necessarily have this form factor, a clamshell, the typical laptop type of form factor. You could actually have a desktop replacement in it, and it's just a little small box,
Smaller than this.
Smaller than even
tablet.
I saw that. It's pretty. I should have brought one, but pretty easy to research. So for anyone who's interested, you can always go to google.com/Chrome and look up their devices, and you can see the whole line of Google Chrome products. They're all manufactured by Samsung, so Samsung is partnered with Google, and they're the hardware manufacturer, which Samsung is another one of my favorite companies.
Okay.
But some of the other benefits to it is that they're completely immune to viruses. So not only is it booting up fast, but it's going to continue to boot up fast over time because you don't have to worry about going out and buying some antivirus to keep your computer clean, or I heard you mention you reloaded your computer several times, and you still have issues. They're forever fresh. It's a term that Google uses. I mean, it's always the operating system new, and that's built into the architecture. It does a process called verified boot. So every time the computer comes on, it examines the local operating system, and if anything has changed at all, it completely rewrites itself, and it does it instantly. Yeah,
that's incredible.
Yeah, and updates are the same way. I mean, that's another thing with Windows. A lot of times you get up, it's up and running, and then you get something that says, "Oh, we're installing the update. Now you need to reboot your computer or something."
Right.
That all goes away as well.
So you don't have to worry about any of
nothing,
that.
None of those things. You don't even have to buy any. You couldn't install antivirus on here if you wanted to, and that's the whole premise. There's nothing on the computer itself but the necessary items to get you to the web. So,
wow. And everything that you would typically store on a laptop or desktop is primarily on the web.
Yeah,
on the
it's
cloud.
all in the cloud. So you store. As a matter of fact, Google has a promotion right now where they give you 100 gigs of cloud storage space with the purchase of a Chromebook.
Is that right? So now, what do one of these, like if a person wanted to purchase a Chromebook, would they get this at like a Best Buy or one of the neighborhood appliance or electronics places, or
Well,
would they
you
do that
don't.
online?
That's a great question. You don't. I haven't really seen them in many stores yet. Even though when you go online, I have seen it advertised that Best Buy has them available in their stores. But Best Buy is definitely one of the outlets that they're using. They sell them online through BestBuy.com, Amazon.com, Tiger Direct is selling them online. So it's a number of online vendors that are selling them. And then there's companies like us that we're Google authorized resellers, so we sell them to businesses.
Oh, so you sell them as well?
Yeah,
Okay.
we sell them as well. Generally to schools and other organizations. But
So if somebody wanted to support you, because I'm all about local businesses, supporting local businesses. So if someone was interested in purchasing one of those and they wanted to come through your organization, how would they do that?
oh well, I mean, very easy. I mean, it's very simple. We're on the web, www.ItsWebTV.com. So you could just contact us, either by email or telephone. All our information is on the web. You could always stop down to Tech Town, which is at 440 Burroughs in Detroit on Wayne State campus. So I mean, number of ways. You just contact us, and someone could help you with that. But either way, I mean, if you you could just as easily go online and purchase them as well.
Okay.
It's tons of benefits to it. I mean, some of the other I want to talk.
Yeah, I'm hearing it. Yeah.
Another major benefit to these devices for those who have multiple computers, like a school or a business that decides that they want to go Google, is that they're centrally managed. So out of the box, basically, it has the capacity to be centrally managed. So if you buy one or you buy 10, you can manage all 10 of those via the web. So you have a web management console that you can control who can log into these devices, who can install applications in the devices, what websites they can visit, they can or cannot visit. You can do all that centrally. So, obviously, I mean, that functionality is present on other computers, whether it's Apple or Windows, but that involves, other equipment, licensing and things, hardware that you need to purchase in order to accomplish that.
And what I'm hearing too is that this sounds like this is revolutionizing how we're using computers. Because, and speaking of licensing, I know there are other manufacturers of software and whatnot who you have to pay licensing fees to use your software, and then if you have support, there's more fees that are associated with that.
Right.
So, and what I'm hearing you say too is that this can eliminate some of those fees and costs.
Oh yeah. Yeah, what Google is doing is Google is actually bundling all of that into one thing, and cost is they're really pushing the envelope in terms of cost. I mean, they have Chromebooks that start as low as $249, and they're including with that 2 years of cloud storage, 100 gigabytes of cloud storage. They have Chromebooks that actually support 3G internet.
Okay.
Because keep in mind, I mean, you have to be connected to the internet to make use of the device. That's probably one criticism that's have is that you have to have an internet connection. My counter argument to that is, even with a standard PC, who really wants to use a PC if you don't have internet?
Right.
I can only, I can make a Word document on my own, but what am I going to do with it? If I want to send it to somebody, I have to have internet. So, internet is something that's more prevalent. It's plenty of ways to get onto it. But what Google has decided to do because of that is with the 3G enabled devices, included in the price is the first year of internet. They're including only 100 megabits. I mean, 100 megabytes of data per month. But then you can pay as you go. But they're giving you that 100 megabytes. So the way I use it is that if I found myself in a place where I don't have internet, but I have internet at my home, I have it at my office.
Well, nowadays you need internet. You go to the coffee shop, even McDonald's has. McDonald's has Wi-Fi
another
now.
excuse to go to Starbucks, or Panera Bread or wherever. But if I did find myself in the middle of nowhere and absolutely needed to use my Chromebook, I have this 100 megs a month that's sitting there waiting for me to use it.
Right.
And it's no additional cost. It's just there. And then if I went over and I still needed, if I used my 100 megabyte allowance, I can pay as you go. So I can say, okay, well, give me another 5 gigabytes and give them $20, and and that's all happens all right online. So Google's really onto something. The biggest thing you mentioned to me that you recently had some mishaps with your computer.
Yeah. For those I haven't shared this, but I stepped on my laptop, and unfortunately, I damaged it. So the lid was open.
Right.
I think that's where the damage came, because I'm always working on it.
Right.
So if I have it next to the bed or something like that, and I fall asleep, I'll just have the lid open and take a nap. And when I got up, I accidentally stepped on it when I was going to do whatever I was going to do.
Right.
Yeah. So crashed my hard drive.
Right. You're not alone in that. I mean, that happens quite a bit, and I've seen it for years. Countless number of people run into the same issue where they've damaged their laptop, or it's been stolen, or whatever the case may be. For some reason they can't use it anymore. And the thing about these devices is that although no one is even looking to throw away $200, $249, but sometimes the biggest pain is just your data. And because there's nothing on this machine, and because everything is in the cloud, I could throw it away and pick up another one and instantly have all of my settings. Not just my data, but a consistent environment. Every single aspect of my computing experience is the same with the new device the minute I log in. And that's the same thing exists.
So this is like a portal.
It's a portal.
To
it's
access
all it is.
that information.
Right. The internet is my computer.
Right.
This is just a window to get to the internet. So if I allowed you to log in, you log in with your Gmail or your Google account, and you're going to get everything. So even in sort of a loaner model, I could loan this computer to you, and you can do everything you need to do.
Right.
You give it back to me. I don't have any of your data. You don't have to worry about me getting into your data.
Yeah.
You
have to log in.
I don't have to worry about changes or things that you may have done on the computer that are now going to affect me, because there's nothing stored on the machine. It's all in the internet.
It's all on the internet, all in the cloud.
Right, exactly. And that translates also to the other devices like your tablets or cell phones. So I'm sitting here right now with 3 devices. They all happen to be Samsung devices, and they're all got Google operating systems on them. But I can do whatever I need to do, and the reason I would choose one or the other is based off of what I'm doing, not so much based off of the limitations or benefits of the device.
Because everything that you need is
right.
on the cloud.
Right,
in the
right.
cloud. Yeah.
Exactly. Because if it's more convenient for me to pull out of my phone, I step out of a quick meeting to access an email or a document, maybe I'm going to grab my phone. If I'm in a client meeting with someone or sitting down at lunch, maybe I'm going to grab my tablet.
Right.
If I stop by Starbucks or I'm back at my office and I want to be highly productive, then I'll open up my Chromebook and use the keyboard. Yeah. So it doesn't matter what's on any of these machines. I can get to what I need from any device. And if all of these weren't available to me, I could go to a kiosk or go to your office, and I could log into that same cloud and get access to all my things. And it doesn't matter who steps on it. Or if somebody steals my laptop or whatever else, I'm not going to lose my data. I still have to replace the hardware, but
right. But that's nominal when you think about
exactly
what it would typically cost to house all that information and have it, and the security and things of that nature. So,
exactly.
Yeah, that's definitely revolutionary. One of the things too I wanted to ask you now, as a small business, now we know that the cloud is evolving, but as a small business, how would a company benefit? Now, you had mentioned earlier about Microsoft and Google and how a lot of your clients are using the Google format. And I think you mentioned a school too. So, how would a small business benefit by using this type of products? Like a scenario in Detroit. I mean, I know they have an issue with resources and computers and whatnot, and all the children having computers. I mean, how would this impact that situation in a positive way?
Well, with a small business or with a school. Well, let me first say for schools and nonprofit organizations, Google's done something else that I think is really a game changer. Is that all of this technology, cloud-based technology, not the hardware itself, but the services in the cloud, they're offering completely for free. So that's one benefit
for nonprofit
for nonprofits and schools.
Oh, is that right?
Right,
for free.
For free. And for everybody else, another thing is it eliminates or minimizes the need for that upfront capital expenditure where you have to go out and buy a bunch of hardware. You know, that closet in your office that's being reserved for your server and your phone system and all those things that has all this equipment that nobody other than the IT department really knows what it does. You know, and whenever it breaks down, it cripples the business. That goes away because cloud computing is really a collaborative type of effort, right? Where you're using all of these other resources of the internet. You know, the economy of scale. You know, Google has a lot more resources than the typical small business to put into keeping their data center up. So moving the applications there and getting them for free in the case of a nonprofit or the school, or paying, you know, $50 per year per user if you're a for-profit business. Right. You know, and not having to spend, you know, $10,000-$20,000 up front in your business is huge, just from a financial standpoint, from a cash flow standpoint. You don't have that upfront capital expenditure, and then the total cost of ownership is lower as well because, again, it's a greater economy of scale. Google is providing, ensuring that these items are up to date, or other cloud resources on the internet. You know, so I think that it's very difficult for your typical small business to do that. I mean, and we've serviced small businesses for years, and you know, it's very rare that you find someone that has, you know, a pot of money sitting around, you know, but they all have need of these services, and those applications, you know, are more than just email. You're talking, you know, an office suite of productivity tools like word processing and spreadsheets and things like that Google is giving. But then it's things that we're somewhat familiar with that potentially have a big impact on business. You know, applications like Google Plus and Google Hangouts that allow you to video conference and things with nothing more than a computer and a webcam. Gives the typical small business access to functionalities that were previously available only to, you know, major corporations, big enterprises that could afford to spend
with a huge
hefty
fee.
Budget, exactly. You know, and now those things are all included. So cloud computing really is going to revolutionize, you know, computing and the functionality that's available to the common small business or small organization or individual for that matter. You know,
and all you have to take advantage of this. I heard you were saying earlier, or just a second ago, about the $50 a month. Now, what about an individual user? If I wanted to take advantage of some of these technologies with Google Hangout, I mean, is there a fee for a person like myself, or not myself, but just, you know, the average user who has Gmail? I mean, how would they access this?
Well, if you have any person that has a Gmail account already has access to most of these functions. It's already available to them.
And it's free.
And it's free, completely free, and very intuitive and user-friendly. As a matter of fact, I'm really impressed when we go into a school and we convert a school over, the fact that most of the students already use Gmail, and they're already using some of these apps. And it brings up another thing. You know, everyone out there, all your listeners that are or viewers that are that have a Gmail, and they're wondering, like, what are these guys talking about? You know, is symptomatic of a problem, right? All of this functionality is there, but very few people even know that it's there. They may have a Gmail account, they're using their email, maybe they're using their calendar, but they didn't know that they could do video conferencing, or they didn't know that they could make phone calls, you know, through their Gmail account. They didn't know that they could make Word documents and PDFs and forms and spreadsheets. They didn't know that they could do those things, make their own website with their Gmail account. And that's symptomatic of the biggest problem, which is knowing how to use it. Whether it's a nonprofit or a business, the employees or members of those organizations need to be empowered. And in the old model, where a company scrapes all of their pennies together so that they can make this big investment in infrastructure, the first thing that normally got cut off the chopping block was what you specialize in, impact strategies, which is the training and professional development. So imagine being able to shift all of that money, you know, from this budget that's, you know, for this capital expenditure, and put it into professional development. That's how you get the return. That's how you make your business better, because now you're empowering your employees, your team members, to be able to use the technology to actually impact the actual function of their business. Is creating that true impact. Is where the rubber hits the road, is how the people leverage the technology. And you know, I think that's what this technology allows. You know.
Well, you know what? I'm really impressed by it, and I'm actually looking forward to test driving one of those. So maybe
Oh,
You
absolutely.
let me,
Yeah, no problem. No problem. I can do that.
Let me check. I'm going to have to do something real soon because, like
Right.
I said, I stepped on my laptop and now all my data's all messed
Right.
up. So I spend money to get that repaired. But I appreciate that. So if you guys have any questions, I know we've talked about a lot of information here, cloud-based technology, how it's being implemented. Any questions, we'd love to hear from you. 248-996-8954. Again, 248-996-8954. And we're talking to Mr. Terrence Willis from ItsWebTV.Com, located at Techtown. We're going to take another 2-minute break. Okay, and we're going to be back to you in just a moment. Again, looking forward to hearing from you. You guys got the number, 248-996-8954. Give us a call. Okay, thank you very much for joining us, folks. We're going to wrap everything up today. I hope that today's session was informative for you. You can join us again next Saturday here at ItsWebTV.com, the Technology Zone. And also, once you go to the website, if you've missed or if you want to, have some friends take a look at the program, you can access it with the on-demand feature at ItsWebTV.com. So what that means, that any show that we're recording, you can access and watch it as often as you like. So some valuable information there. You guys can check that out. You'll want to go to the tab there that says info. It's either info or information, but you'll see that when you log on to ItsWebTV.com. So today we talked a lot about cloud-based technology. We talked about one of the players, which is Google. We had my esteemed colleague here, Terrence Willis, co-owner founder of ItsWebTV.com. So is there any other information you'd like to share with the public?
Well, I just want to, make ItsWebTV.com and its services available, to anyone. Please, if you're interested in anything, feel free to contact us. You can reach us at www.ItsWebTV.com, or you can call us. Our telephone number is 313-887-1297. So please feel free. And if you do decide to call for any purpose, make sure that you let us know that you saw us on this. You saw me on this program, and maybe we can have some special consideration for whatever your needs are. So please, feel free to contact us if you need anything concerning any sort of IT services, but in particular, if you're interested in Google Chrome or Chrome OS or any other cloud-based services that Google offers, I think we're a resource for that.
All right. So I'd like to thank you for joining us today,
Thank you,
Mr.
Rob.
Willis.
I appreciate
It was
you
a
having
pleasure.
me.
Absolutely.
Same here.
Okay, folks, so again, if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to call us. And of course, you can email. You got my email address if you don't have it already. It's rsewell@impactstrategies.biz. Hopefully, you have had an opportunity to go to the website, check out the Technology Zone tab. We'll be checking that to see if there's any blogs, any information, any questions that you had. Other than that, again, we'd like to thank you. We want you to tune in next Saturday, same time, 1 o'clock p.m. Tell your friends, tell your families any questions that you have about technology, whether it's, what's the fastest computer out there. There's a lot of things that predicate that, but any questions you have about technology, folks, write that information down. Make sure you call us next Saturday, 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will see you then. Have a good day.